Hello, friend. Welcome to 10 Bestest, where we sift through the noise so you don't have to. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarlane-Holman.
And today I'm going to share 200 cool sheets in one.
And I'm going to talk about a Native American podcast. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet is going to be a list, and this is called the Route 100. The Route 100 is an annual list of the most influential African Americans from ages 25 to 45. It's their way of honoring the inventors, the leaders, the public figures, and the game changers who work from the past year in breaking down barriers and paving way for the next generation. This year's list of honorees is a reminder of the beauty and brilliance of Blackness, and at the time when the political and cultural landscape has grown even more hostile to the idea of Black achievement. So how did they arrive at this list? They used a unique algorithm that calculates the honorees, their reach, the way that people they touch through the media, along with Twitter, Instagram followers, and things like that. So they do use social media. But also their substance, the impact of their work, and they grade that on a scale from 0 to 10. And this determines their influence, which determines their ranking, and ultimately they scored hundreds of people to determine the Route 100. Now, I'm kind of ashamed that I don't know all of these amazing humans already. In fact, not very many of them, but that also doesn't really surprise me that these people aren't well known, because that is the reason why we even need lists like this in the first place. So I definitely suggest you check it out. Each one of these people could be a cool sheet on their own. I'm giving you a 200 for one bang here for your buck. And I bet you many of them will be, because I got a really good list all of a sudden. Some of them are really obvious, like Beyonce, Chadwick Boseman, Megan Thee Stallion, Zendaya, Candace Parker. So actors and athletes and people like that. But the number one is Kazmika Corbett, the viral immunologist in STEM who headed the team of scientists at the National Institutes of Health that led to the creation of the Moderna vaccine. The top six are all women. So cool. So many more on this list. Definitely check out the Route 100.
This sounds amazing.
It is amazing.
And I did know, I am familiar with the immunologist, I guess, because of the pandemic and everything, but I want to see all of them. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, they have different categories. So they have, poets and artists and all different kinds of people. So many different fields. And that's what I like too. It's not just about actors. It's not just about athletes. It's about a bunch of amazing people. Right.
So yeah, maybe some are very recognizable to you because you study this field, but you might not know about athletes and business owners and then these other actors and things like that. So cool.
Right. Excellent. My cool sheet is a podcast. This is called All My Relations. This is a brand new discovery for me, and I have already learned so much from this podcast. All My Relations is hosted by two amazing women, and they bring in guests on each episode who have deep involvement and knowledge of representations, specifically how Native peoples are represented in mainstream media. Their topics are, at their core, all about relationships. They dive into relationships between people and land and place, and between people and non-human relatives. My experience listening to All My Relations is that the co-hosts have not only thought deeply about all of these relationships, but they've also carefully selected their guests, and they take the time to have profound and meaningful conversations throughout each podcast. The conversations are not only powerful in their own right, but they also give the listener a chance to learn and feel and come closer to an understanding of indigeneity and all of its complexities. Let me tell you about the co-hosts. They are amazing. And the first one is Matika Wilbur, who is a visual storyteller from the Swinomish and Tulalip peoples of coastal Washington. Matika travels and photographs Indian country in pursuit of one goal: to change the way we see Native America. She has an amazing project that I will be featuring in a future cool sheet, so watch for that. Adrienne Keene is the other co-host, and she is a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and is passionate about reframing how the world sees contemporary Native cultures. She's a faculty member at Brown University and also authors a blog discussing cultural appropriation and stereotypes of Native peoples in fashion, film, music, and other forms of pop culture. If you want to learn more about Native American issues, check out All My Relations podcast.
Well, I do and I will.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's so cool.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
And
really
all
good.
all the different episodes are. I really got into one that was about environmental and climate change. But there are other. I could just go on and on. They have some of them are 3-part series.
Oh, cool.
They
how long is each podcast? So
they're a little bit on the longer side. So 40 minutes, I would say, is the shorter end. But some go over an hour.
Yeah.
So they don't stop. If the conversation is
good.
going in a great direction, they keep going with it. So it's so rich.
So cool. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that really stuck out to me that you said that made these hosts so good is how much research they do to take in their interview guests. And that is a special skill to be a good interviewer. And that always, just like personality on YouTube, is a big kind of definer for a good channel versus a great channel. But same thing, good interviewers can really make a good, interesting interview amazing.
Yes.
So, and I'm fascinated with it all the time. So
Yeah,
it's very
definitely.
Cool. I can't wait to check them out.
Rich conversations. You'll love it.
I know I will.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Don't forget to check out our show notes at 10bestest.com/ocean. That's 10bestest.com/ocean. Thank you so much for joining us, friend. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
Let us know in the comments, how many of the Route 100 have you heard of?
And let us know, what's your latest favorite podcast?
If you're enjoying the show, please smash that like button and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned next week for another excellent show.
And don't forget to stay curious.